Okay, sorry. I should have. I'm the older person here, so I should
Mm-hmm.
take accountability. It's been 18 minutes since I started the class with Tom, my student, for today, July 3, 2025. And we have just started to define the process of thorough thoughts or thinking out loud, which he has a different definition of. So far, he has laid out the idea that whenever we want to do something,
Mm-hmm.
we need to go through the process of thinking out loud than just thinking of it in our brains. So far, he's providing the possible strategy or tools that you can do. So, can you start from the beginning? Example, you want to like clean your room and move the table.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
so the process is must is to define the where we start and then where we will end.
Mm-hmm.
So before if I want to move the table, the first thing that I should consider is not how to move the table, but like should the table be moved? Like would it match with the other utensils, the other stuff in the room that is going to be moved into? So maybe it's too high, maybe there isn't enough space. So if all the conditions are met, like where would I put it? So I'm trying to shape um the future, like the future of it, and then I would think it backwards,
Mm-hmm.
to really arrange the ways that I should do things, and that would help me achieve my goals the fastest. So after that, I would try to make room. Like maybe my room is a bit untidy, so I must see where would I put my table if I should put it, if I should move it. So I would put the table in the middle of it. So I have to clean it beforehand to clean the space up, and then I must check if it's big enough for the table to be moved in. Like maybe the
Mm-hmm.
table is too big, the table is like too high, and yes, the compatibility might be off sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
so adjustments are to be made, of course, in the condition that you would still want to move the table after doing such condition
Mm-hmm.
after fulfilling such conditions.
You don't. Okay. Here's the thing. I'd like just to stop you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are words that are not words.
Uh-huh.
Something is not a word. Somebody is not a word. That thing is not a word. Such is not a word.
Mm-hmm.
A word is embodying an idea. Yes, it's not specific, but it's more detailed
Mm-hmm.
than just the word that something or the word something. You have this habit of saying such. You have to replace it with tangible markers or words.
Mm-hmm.
Example, if I were to move the table, that movement will be needed or not depending on the results or the possible consequences of that table being moved to a specific place in the room.
Mm-hmm.
But with you, with such movement, with such, it's too broad. We need to have more exact or more precise means so that, because when we, I don't know, we have this thing in philosophy. The more general your word is, the broader the concept of inclusion. The more specific or restrictive your description becomes, the more detailed or less confusion it can encounter. You get me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Try to forget the word such. define what is such.
Mm,
Okay. So earlier you were saying about like moving a table,
mm-hmm,
and there are considerations to either do move the table or not move the table. So instead of saying doing such, because there are two ends in the action, non-action and the action itself. So you don't say such. It's easier to discuss it with like informal thing, or you know conversation at the streets. That's okay. But the more detailed you are, it doesn't matter you're at the streets or in an academic settings, it will still be
mm-hmm.
accepted. You get my point, right?
I get your point.
Okay. Let's move forward. You were
Okay.
saying? Mhm.
So, after all things are like achieved, I would try to think,
Look at that. All things. The word things and something is not a word by definition in our context.
okay, so
Okay.
after, after all the, side quests,
Like in setting by after all things have been done, all things cannot be. After all possible considerations or steps has been done, that's a better definition of all, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so after we have done those things.
Done those things. What are those things?
Well,
Give a
that's
detail of what we are referring to.
okay. So after taking all those requirements into consideration
Requirements for what?
for moving the table.
Yes, very good. Because
Okay, so
here's the thing, the problem with people who have so many thoughts is that they think that what they're thinking is the same thing that you are thinking, that you understand clearly, and then your audience would ask, oh, what's the point of reference? They get
mm-hmm,
lost at your thoughts, and then you end up frustrated. That happens between husbands and wife, that my husband usually does. Like, he thinks that what he said is clear when we have talked about two or more things that are not synchronous. Anyhow, go ahead.
mm-hmm,
Mhm. My job is to tell you when it's possibly vague.
mm,
Okay, go
okay,
ahead. Mhm.
so after blah 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 blah, I should think about or how to move the table.
Mhm.
And well, sometimes the tables are too wide for the door, of course. I
Mhm.
think that is a very normal incident that
Mhm.
when you move them, like stuffs in the home around,
Mhm.
like such as like gadgets. Oh no, not really gadgets. Gadgets are like too small.
Mhm.
Like
Furnitures or
yeah,
furniture.
furnitures. Yeah,
Mhm.
when you move the
Or
furnitures around,
appliance. Mhm.
some yeah appliances. S- Sometimes, and I mean sometimes they are too big, too wide
Mhm.
to fit through the door. So you need first to like take it into parts, take
Mhm.
it into pieces,
Mhm.
and then bring it one by one.
You
And
mean tear
I
it
would,
apart?
yeah, tear it apart, disassemble it.
Yes, that's the better word, not tear it apart. To tear it apart means to destroy it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Mhm.
Okay, so I think
Disassemble is a better one.
that would be a very enduring task. Just imagine I have to pulling all those nuts and bolts out
Mhm.
just to like bring a table um to the other room. And see, I wouldn't want to do it now.
Mhm.
Although although I had already like made way for the table to come, like I had already cleaned the room.
Mhm.
But now I suddenly don't want to. And that is the reason why thoroughly thinking is important. Like you have to think it beforehand. If you cannot think it beforehand, you might you might just be you
Stuck in
might
the middle, like
you're stuck
in
in the
your
middle.
case, like, oh, I don't have the energy anymore. I realized I still have to do things. Then
Mm-hmm.
you're left with a more inconvenient situation than hoping that something will be better. You will have a
Mm-hmm.
purpose why you're doing reorganizing your room, only to realize that you added to the complexity of your situation than to
Yeah, and
simplify it, right?
yeah, and s- yeah, I wouldn't want to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is just one circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
In another one, like I still tried my best to disassemble it
Mm-hmm.
down into pieces and bring it one by one,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just put it up again. And now I have the table moved. No, I moved the table,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe it's still off. And I didn't think it thoroughly enough that the table is like too high or something. I should
Mm-hmm.
have made I should have made more calculations about length and the width,
Mm-hmm.
and I did not. I didn't take it into consideration, and I had a, an overly big table inside of a small bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't even sit on my small chair
Mm-hmm.
to use the table. So
Okay.
it's just a piece of garbage now.
I have a
Something for.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do people or we in general
Mm-hmm.
prevent miscalculations or a flop or an unsuccessful plan? How do we prevent that?
Well, we cannot really prevent it 100%.
Hmm. But, hmm,
There's no vaccines for it,
hmm,
unfortunately.
yes,
So, but there are like still ways to avoid it, not
or to have
100%.
it prevented or
To
to a
have it
minimum.
to a minimum extent.
Mm-hmm.
So just think it thoroughly and try to think of problems that it may cause.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we want to do something, just thinking about the aftermath, like
Mm-hmm.
the repercussion
Okay.
that it can cause. It can build up, and if we can if we can really suffer um those consequences, only when can
Only
the
then,
plan
not only
only
when.
then
Mm-hmm.
only then can the plan be taken out taken out like smoothly, like
Implemented,
with
not
we
taken out,
implement
taken out to pull out.
to
Mm-hmm.
carry out, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that is more like critical thinking,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just the way to think thoroughly, more efficiently. The core of it is like you must think thoroughly.
I have this thing
Mm-hmm.
where there's this principle or idea that states, I don't know the title of it or the name of it, but it has like present bias or bias with the presence or bias with the state of the
Mm-hmm.
moment, something like that, which
Mm-hmm.
says that we
We.
decide what is convenient at present, even if it could ruin our entire
Mm-hmm.
lives. Example, we would uh, need to do our homework or do have a deadline.
Can
Yes,
you spare me a moment?
no problem.
I'm great now.
Right.
Thanks.
All right. So we were on to the part where we were talking about how to address the bias of the present or bias of the moment, which states that whatever we usually we decide what's pleasurable, easy, or convenient at present, even if it's gonna sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
our future. This happens with gambling, addiction. A simple example will be when we have to finish a project or something for work or for studies. We would say, oh, what if I just browse some blogs
Yes.
and see reels at the moment? Later, it's been hours. So, how do we address that?
No, I think it's pretty common. It's pretty basic. Like
Mm-hmm,
in our lives, we only do things that are beneficial for ourselves. Like when we do voluntary work, for example, we are doing it for so that we can have a peace of mind.
mm-hmm,
We don't do it for the benefits of people. Like we only do it because we are happy when we do it. Because
mm-hmm,
like when we save lives, like humans are a kind of social primates.
mm-hmm,
You know that the cortex that correlates with how big the social group
mm-hmm,
is more dramatic at people and then the other than in humans than any other kind of animals, even like whales or so. So humans is like a highly social animal,
okay,
and we tends to have feelings that keep it together, and yeah, when we help each other, it satiates us,
okay.
and that's why we
So
do
you're, uh-huh,
voluntary work. So what I'm trying to say is everything we do is for benefits, but the yeah, and benefits are only comprehensible if it is put right in front of our face. If it's too long, you might think that there might be some problems that may occur,
mm-hmm,
and really just like stray you away.
okay,
And if I want to, for example, my table, if I want to move it, then
mm-hmm,
there must be a reason. Maybe I want to move away from my parents.
mm-hmm,
Maybe I want to get to a place where I can um you know do things more convenient without anyone just coming by and
mm-hmm,
say hey. It's just for the sake of me that I did it, and well, no one's would think it that much for you
mm-hmm,
unless they are like very very like related, like not like very acquainted to you, and yeah. So it's just the the benefits that are like already in our hand and attracts us. That's what I think.
question. How does this affiliation or connection with a society or others in the spirit of voluntarism
Mm-hmm.
make us avoid
Avoid.
presence bias? We're
No,
humans. Mm-hmm,
like presence bias
mm-hmm,
is not a thing that we can avoid. It like it's just embedded. It's carved into our bloodlines, and it's a perk because it can help create urges. Like it can create motivations once used correctly. Like it can
that
create
part.
short
How,
term
what is
goals.
correctly? Because most of the time we're swayed by not being uncomfortable. How do how do we detect that this presence bias is going to lead us way far from our goals to the point that we forget what we are here or there for in the first place.
Okay, so the thing here is like you have to set more realistic goals.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, me as a student, I do not want to learn, but I would try to motivate myself with short-term goals. Like you just cannot motivate me just by saying that, oh, learning can help you get a good grade, can help you get a good occupation. Because for me, I
So that's
don't.
extrinsic. You're saying you need to have a more intrinsic motivation coming from yourself.
Mm, well, it's not really intrinsic,
Okay,
but
because you said, "Oh, you can't just motivate me by saying, oh, this is going to be good for
no,
you."
it means you can, okay? You can't just motivate me
Mm-hmm.
just by saying that, oh,
Okay.
learning can give me good occupations, because in my point of view, I cannot identify what an occupation is like. I can understand it, but
Yet.
how would
Mm-hmm.
I just feel it? I cannot feel what you're feeling right now. Like when you're older, you just realize that, oh, I should have learned more. But at this
At that
time,
moment, yeah. At this moment. Mm-hmm.
short-term goals is just what like we offer, and how we manipulate it just dictates how our pros of life are, like the course of it is going. So you can just set short-term goals, like if I do this, I can get it. If I don't, I get punishments and reward is like other, the carrot and stick policy is what really
Mm-hmm.
help us to thrive in this society.
What can an ordinary, regular student do by himself or herself to behave less like the youth of today who don't care about the future generally and just want to be comfortable?
Mm, well, that is actually me,
And that,
because
mhm, what advice could you give yourself? Because most of the youth are like impossible to motivate because they have to see something within themselves by themselves.
mm-hmm,
External motivation
it
usually
doesn't
doesn't
work
work.
that way.
Yeah.
Well,
So
here's the thing:
mhm,
people is very
are
very people are a very different breed. Well, now we just learned this,
mhm,
but well, we seek appreciation from others,
mhm.
and that's what motivates us. Like
And what
if someone.
things defines appreciation? You said, when we are appreciated by others, this motivates us. What specific things happen around you and to you that depicts this motivation? Mhm,
Well, it really the well the appreciation. Yeah, and what I mean is like
mhm,
the like someone appreciate your value,
mhm,
not just by oh, you're good at this.
mhm,
Like teachers can say that, anyone can say that to
mhm,
you, but the one who actually cares about you, the ones that are like doesn't like get disappointed if you just didn't get a good rate. Like they are always there for you.
mhm,
Like they give you appreciation with true value.
mhm.
That are that's the thing that gives motivation. And
So
well,
that means that's nowhere to be found.
well, no, like you have one like righteous right like right next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you still have one. Is your husband. Well, like sometimes, okay, so like it's not a thing that can be depicted through them. Well, sometimes it also happens between family members. Like
Mm-hmm.
you that is the thing that you would do with your children, like right. So like if they even get bad grades, you still love them, uh, no matter what.
Unconditionally
Yeah, unconditionally, and that's what really the
matters.
thing that you bring down, that you bring out their true value.
Question: what if you don't have this
I don't know.
in your
You're
family?
lost.
They are. Like,
You're
what
lost.
value can I had one student earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
He has a fever, and yesterday he had a tummy ache, and you could see through his facial expression that he's really in pain. And I
Mm-hmm.
asked him, what do you think is the reason that led to your tummy ache? He said, I wasn't able to eat well at lunch, or I didn't eat lunch. Something that
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what he actually said, but to me it meant like lunch was not even given.
Mm-hmm.
And today he had a fever, and I asked him to call his parents, and
Mm-hmm.
his parents were like discussing through the phone, like, why didn't he bring the umbrella, something like that. And then I talked to him while we were waiting. I said, I think you're very weird, or I think you're not that responsible. uh his youngest brother died a year or two ago, and
Mm-hmm.
he's now the youngest. I asked him, don't you think it's very painful for a parent to bury their child instead of the child taking them to their grave and like burying them? Do you want to experience or have your parents experience that this same thing with you being the person making them feel it again? And he was like quiet. And I asked him, your responsibility is to be good because being sick requires pain, time, and inconvenience for your family. And he says, uh, how can I how can I take care of myself when they don't provide for me to take care of myself? Like, what kind of like mentality is that? It's raining, I said. The whole time, the whole morning, it was raining until like before we went home. It was raining, drizzling. He didn't have an umbrella. And he says, the umbrella is not important in our house uh, because it will get wet. And I asked him, which one is more important? For the umbrella to not get wet or for you not to get wet? And he says, I don't know. They just don't want to give umbrellas. We don't have them. We can't afford them. So I was thinking like might be financially when his parent came. It's like blaming. Like instead of like consoling, oh you're sick, let's go home. No, what the parent said, you didn't bring the raincoat. You're looking for an umbrella. We don't have that. There's a raincoat. Like the parent seemed to be angry that he's sick because he didn't know better. So if your environment was of that sort, like I'm just here because I can't do nothing but be here,
Mm-hmm.
what can people do around them? I told him before he goes home, I told his mom, maybe you should check every day if he's full before he goes. And if he could not bring an umbrella, I hope you could give him his own umbrella. Try to provide for him. And then the mom says, I will try. So before he left, I said, before you leave from home, better not leave home if you're feeling unwell because it's counterproductive. And he said yes. So I felt that he felt I tried to help, but it's like saying, this is gonna happen again. Like in his face, like, oh, here we go. It's gonna happen again. Something like that. So if you're the teacher or the classmate, what
Mm-hmm.
would you do?
Okay, so to be honest,
Mhm.
I'm no experts in like
Yes.
families and
Mhm.
stuff.
But I'm just trying to have you spill your beans or, yeah, say whatever
So
you like. Mhm.
I don't have experience in parenting, but I just think that well, everyone is like different,
Mhm.
and no matter how you're raised, it's like
It
you're
all
raised
boil
to be
it
yourself.
all, yeah, it all boils down to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you're very
And
unlucky if you don't know how to help yourself. Is that it?
so
Unfortunately, yes. I mean, that's my principle. I always tell my
um
student, I'm very rude. Always tell my student, we don't always get what we want, but we will always have what we deserve. So if you're
mhm,
getting the shit out of life, there's something you're doing that makes it pour out to you. And sometimes I get angry, but others would think, yeah, it makes sense. Not everyone does think it makes sense, right?
mhm. And what can I say? I think it's just best if you let it be.
Hmm. There's so we
Well,
can just do as much, I think.
we cannot like anything that you do will have a
Hmm.
counter like a counter active effect. I mean like um when you say it to his mom like that, don't you
Hmm.
think that his mom would be very, very um offended? Like you cannot just teach someone to like how to teach their kids out of nowhere is not constructive criticism, and
Yes.
she would take offended by it easily, and then now she would like just think that uh the son might have said something, and just you know exaggerating things up,
Hmm.
like
Probably,
they would just
probably.
put all the like they would just um pour all the rage down on him. Is it might happen. I'm not saying that
It is
it will
possible.
happen,
It
but
is
it is
possible.
possible.
It
Like
is.
we don't know who they are,
Hmm.
and it's just best if
And
we just
the culture in their
mhm, like
homes. Hmm.
well just imagine
Hmm.
someone just going like yeah you don't even know how to teach your sons like
Hmm.
it would be very offensive and I'm calling
In their case, they have this mentality where I like you're the teacher, you're supposed to teach. We actually send him to school because you're the one who's supposed to lecture on them or
mhm,
let them know what they're supposed to do. Little do
mhm,
they know that they need to support the child to do things like homework, read something. They think just because they sent their children to school, it's totally the teacher's responsibility to make them learn. Now that we have a few minutes, let me share my screen, unless you have something to say.
nah, but
Okay, just a few things. I would just want you to just two things actually. Let me share my screen. Here, share PC audio. Okay. So you see, I highlighted. Do you feel like those things are looking at you? Let me, or have you listened to it again?
You ever feel like those things are looking at you?
Yeah, I don't hear the do, but I suppose that it needs to be added, and I must
No.
have missed it. And
No.
like
Almost.
you feel
No,
like,
no, no.
ah,
Try to listen. I heard this. I might need a better pair of ears. I didn't hear you feel like. I heard ever feel like. Lil, let's listen slower and see. I'm sure it's not do you feel like or just feel like. No. Let's
mhm.
slow it down. Oh, what happened? Used to have like oh oh no, it has like a sliding thingy. It doesn't help.
You ever feel like those things are
Uh-huh. You ever
looking at
feel
you?
like I heard you ever feel like I might be wrong, but you heard ju feel like
You feel
one more time.
You ever feel like those things
you
are
ever feel
You
like,
looking
ever
at you?
feel like you ever
uh-huh,
feel like not ju ever feel like you ever feel like I don't know. Tell me.
I just think that it's just, well, this is like, you ever feel like, then there would be no words
Mm-hmm.
to ask. Like, don't you need, see, they did put them like the saw marker under the U,
Mm-hmm.
because like there's nothing to ask.
One more time.
There's no words to ask, like no do,
Mm-hmm.
no WH questions,
Mm-hmm.
no to be. There are no words to signify the fact that you are asking. So this
Actually,
isn't.
this is like a shortened version of have you ever feel like you ever
Mhm.
feel like you ever feel like have you ever feel like sometimes you ever feel like
Like
right?
if you say it like that, so do you ever feel like is also
Yes.
a viable option?
Yes. But have you ever felt like should be, right? If it's
Mm-hmm.
have, yeah, it's possible. Do you ever feel like, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't hear it do.
Yeah, we can
You
hear.
ever feel like maybe it's like shortened or edited, right?
Yeah.
Now, how about this one? I think I heard a name after let your instincts guide you. There's a maybe a whisper of a name I heard. I might be wrong. Tell me.
Let your instincts guide you.
Now I didn't hear it. But earlier I heard some sort of a name. Let's try it once more.
Let your instincts guide you.
Yeah, there isn't any. I thought he mentioned the name earlier. My bad. It There wasn't any. Reopen. Okay. I think that ends our call for today.
Mm-hmm.
On our next meeting, I'm gonna ask you again something random.
Mm-hmm.
So we both are unprepared. But
Okay.
I always like the idea of you discussing something that I shouldn't know or I don't know yet, because it helps me see what you don't see. I actually understand what you mean, but I want you to like accurately say it with words. You get me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because well, sometimes you have this tendency to explain thinking that I understand, but you know I understand, but others without the context or saying or reaffirming what we're talking about. Like example, we talked in the past and we're just continuing. We both know the context.